Finding Revelation Daily. TatMan Chapter 4 for book release on Amazon June 1st, 2021. Podcast 4. My name is Monica Broussard, author of TatMan and the voice and author behind Finding Revelation Daily, weekly podcast. Finding Revelation Daily examines the material world around us with a focus on a biblical heart and spiritual awareness. Chapter 4. Despite the unusual day, Kendall arrived at the gym in a cheery mood. The boss that had made her life so miserable was now the new, vulnerable Derek. The kickboxing class was a good cardio workout to relieve the stress of the situation. "Hey, Kendall, are you going for a quick beer?" one of the guys called out from the small group after the workout. "I can't," Kendall replied, getting up from the floor after doing her cool-down stretches. "I have an unexpected house guest I have to get back to." "Ooh," sang the chorus. The three younger, smaller guys seemed to look up to the two older, larger guys as they laughed and hit each other on the arms. They were their own little kickboxing gang. She found them amusing. "Joe, how's your nose healing?" Joe waved. "Good. Real good. You did a fine job. Did you have family fly in or something?" "Nah. I wish. Nothing like that." Kendall smiled at the group of misfit kickboxers. "It's the doctor I work for. He's having some personal problems and I'm just helping him out." "Oh, really? The old ball and chain giving him a hard time?" The group laughed in unison. Kendall smiled. "No, it's nothing like that. He's never been married. At least I don't think he has. I don't think anyone would want to marry this one. He's a real downer type, if you know what I mean." "Then why are you messed up with him?" "He's my boss. He asked me to help him. What am I supposed to do?" Joe pushed his way forward. "Listen, Kendall, if you need any help, just let me know," he said with a chorus of agreement coming from around the circle. Kendall smiled. "Thanks, guys. That is really nice of you. But don't worry. I definitely have this one under control." She picked up her bag and waved to the ragtag group as they watched her walk out of the gym. A few minutes later, she entered the apartment and found Derek sitting at the bar, working on her laptop. "Find anything?" "Yeah, I do think I have a curse on me." Kendall opened the refrigerator and grabbed a cold bottle of water, rolled it across her forehead, leaning back against the sink. "Kind of hard to believe someone can put a curse on you and get these kind of results, though." Derek put his head in his hands, scratched his head hard, and looked up at Kendall's flushed face. What else could it be? What else could create this kind of turmoil? "I don't know." Kendall took a sip of water. "I'll call that professor at UCLA again in the morning. At least that's somewhere for us to start, right?" Kendall bolted forward. "Oh my goodness! I was supposed to pick up something to eat." She put the cap back on the water bottle. "Now I guess we'll just have to go out." "I can't go out." "Why? No one knows who you are. Heck, I don't even recognize you, and I work with you every day. Let me go freshen up and change my clothes. I'll be right back." Kendall closed the bedroom door. Derek stared into the rattan frame mirror that hung in the entry and realized she was right. No one would recognize him. He was amazed she was willing to go out into public with him. Kendall came out of the room, grabbed her keys off the counter, then sidestepped him. "Lock the door behind you," she said, putting her fedora on her head as she walked out the front door. Derek quickly grabbed his jacket off the chair. Kendall's car sat right outside the front gate. With the convertible top down, she jumped into the driver's seat from the passenger side. She smiled up at Derek standing outside the car. "What do you feel like?" He opened the passenger door and slid down into the tiny car. "You pick." The blinking open sign shone bright in the dark window when they pulled into the dirt parking lot of the small Mexican restaurant. The old Spanish-tiled building looked like it had been around since the turn of the previous century. "Don't be scared," Kendall said as she held open one of the engraved wooden doors. "It has great authentic food." Derek stepped into the dark. "I bet it does." A couple sat at the massive wooden bar. The booths with tall backs were very private, making it hard to tell if there were any other patrons. It occurred to Derek that the dark seclusion was why she had picked the place. Out of nowhere appeared a man with menus in his arms. "Cuantos?" Kendall stepped forward. 2. The man proceeded directly to the back of the restaurant, then laid the menus in the middle of the table at a high-back booth. Something to drink? Sliding into the seat, Kendall said, "Water for me." "I'll have a beer," said Derek. "What kind of beer would you like?" "Whatever you have on tap." Derek picked up a menu. "I need something to help me sleep. Beer always makes me sleepy." The man came back with their drinks, and they both ordered. Kendall had no idea how to have a normal conversation with a man that for the past 2 years riddled her with snide remarks about her hair, jewelry, and anything else that he could torture her with. Derek broke the silence. "What if I stay like this for the rest of my life?" Taking a drink of his beer. "I just can't imagine. My career would be ruined. My life would be over." "Don't say that." Kendall reached out to touch his tattooed hand. "As long as you have your health, there is hope for things to get better. Things could be a lot worse." With anger in his eyes, he yanked his hand back and slapped the table. "Oh my God!" Kendall jumped. "You really didn't just say that. You naive girl. Could be worse? Listen, I have already been through the worst. I have come out of a coma, had my whole face reconstructed, had to learn to walk and talk again after almost being beaten to death. To have to go through this crap at this stage of my life is ridiculous. I don't know if I can make it through this. I don't know if I have the strength to fight something this big again." His shoulders relaxed. He sat back in the seat. "I was almost beaten to death when I was a kid." "Oh my gosh, who would do that to a child?" "It was the last day of my freshman year in high school. I was supposed to walk home after school. My mom had made arrangements with my grandmother to have her come out to visit. She was going to be flying in that day, so I had to get home to go with my mom to pick her up. I tried to get out of it, but my mom insisted I had to be with her at the airport when my grandmother arrived." "Why?" "Because," stretching his neck, "my grandmother was my dad's mother. She took care of me after he passed. Mom felt obligated. She was coming to see me." "Oh, I see." "I really wanted to see her, but I wanted to be with my friends more. After school, I stalled for as long as I could, hoping to come up with an idea to get out of going to the airport. By the time I was done messing around, the school was pretty much empty. I was walking home really slow, stalling for time when all of a sudden this car screeches up right in front of me. A bunch of guys jumped out. They were all older and quite a bit bigger than me. They looked like they were part of a gang or something. They all had shaved heads with tattoos and piercings. They were really scary looking." "You'd never seen these guys before?" "Nope, had never seen them before or ever again. The ringleader had a tattoo, a spider web that circled the left side of his face. His eye was like in the center of the web and the spider was below his eye. These were some pretty twisted individuals." "Why would they want to hurt you?" "Because they could. Because it was an initiation, or they were just joyriding and wanted to kick some poor slob's ass. They never found them." "So what happened to you?" "Well, they beat me senseless. They broke just about every major bone in my body, my jaw, nose, shoulder, ribs, arm and leg, and even my eye socket, and gave me a brain trauma. I ended up missing the rest of high school. I lost all my friends, everything that mattered to me." "I'm so sorry." "That's not the worst part." "No?" "I was in a coma. The stress of it all killed my grandmother right there in the hospital." "Oh no." "I never got to see her again. My mom didn't even tell me. So when I came out of the coma, I had no clue what had happened. She didn't want to upset me. I had a serious brain injury, so my memory was pretty messed up for a long time." "So sorry, Derek." "I know. I feel like someone is out to get me. Why should I have to keep putting up with such lousy things happening in my life?" "No, I don't think that's what's going on here." "Oh, just what I need now. You telling me how I should feel." "That's not what I'm trying to do." "So now what? Maybe you're starting to feel a little sorry for me?" "I don't feel sorry." "Well, I certainly don't need any pity coming from someone like you." "Whoa, what does that mean?" "You know, you're an employee. It doesn't matter anyway. It's happened now. I have to fix it. I'm not going to stay this way. People are either going to pity me or look at me in disgust. Either way, I'm pretty much screwed. I'm not going to settle for it." "Well then." She sat back in the booth. "I think you should start by finding out what the probability of this being a curse is and what you have to do to reverse it." "Reverse it?" "Yeah, reverse it. I'm sure there must be a way to take the curse off." Kendall had lost her appetite and motioned for the bill. "Keep track of everything you spend. I'll make sure I get the money back to you first chance I get," Derek said. "I intend to. Come on, let's go. We have a big day tomorrow." That night, His dreams were more vivid and disturbing, causing him to toss and turn on Kendall's couch. This was driving him insane. When he tried to sleep, the demons came rushing in. During the day, he felt like he was wired with anxiety. It was quite upsetting. Something had taken a hold of him. By the time the sun rose, he had already made himself at home on the patio deck. The Finding Revelation Daily podcast can be heard every Wednesday. Each chapter from TatMan will be released until June 1st, 2021, when the book comes out on Amazon. My name is Monica Broussard, and I look forward to getting together with you next week for the next chapter of TatMan. In the meantime, you can go to findingrevelationdaily.com or email me at findingrevelationdaily@gmail.com.